Magandang hapon po sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan sa Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Sa mga OFWs po natin all around the world, magandang hapon po sa atin lahat. Kahapon po, in-address ko po ang House Media at may request po ngayon na follow up yung ilan mga questions. And meron po tayo mga regional media centers na may mga gustong tanong din. So before I start, baka pwede ko lang batiin yung mga aside from yung mga kapatid natin sa media yesterday, mga taga Cavite, Batangas, Pangasinan, Pampanga, Cebu, Bacolod, ang mga kababayan ng misis ko sa Albay, Diyos maray na hapon sa Indogabos, Pampanga, Cebu, Bacolod, Davao, Cagayan de Oro, Jensan, Zamboanga, at lalong-lalo na yung mga OFWs natin sa Middle East na nakinig kahapon, no? So let me get started muna. I wanted to start with a biblical verse that I think is napaka akma or very apt at this point in time. Having said that, akmang-akma din siya dun sa unang question. So with the permission of everyone, I'll dive into the I'll dive into the question, no? Yung unang question has to do with the harassment of health workers, of PUIs and PUMs. And dagdag ko na dito, although wala dito sa question, syempre yung mga nag-test positive, no? So ito ay question from Billy Vegas of Bandera. Billy, any reaction ng House leadership sa mga frontliners na hinaharas ng community? Yung iba sinaktan, meron pinapaalis sa inuupahang bahay, at may mga PUI at PUM na tinataboy ng kanilang mga kapitbahay dahil sa takot mahawa sila. Gaya na na-experience ng family ni Sen Angara na ayaw mag-deliver ng pagkain sa bahay nila after magsabi na sila ay COVID positive. Okay. Yung verse na gusto ko po i-share sa inyo, yung pong sinasabi, what is the two greatest commandments? First, to love God with all your heart, spirit, and mind, and with all your strength, no? At yung pangalawa po, love your neighbors as you love yourself. And yun po ang nasa Bible. But I don't think there's any religion in the world na hindi nagtuturo na mahalin ang iyong kapwa, to love your neighbors, di ba? I think all religions all around the world says you love your neighbors. So let's start from that point of view, no? When may crisis kasi, it can bring out the best or it can bring out the worst in us. Pero sa individual yon. So like for me, yung naka-quarantine halimbawa at nakikita ko nangyayari sa kababayan natin, kami ni Lani, it can bring out the best in us, in our relationship, in our communication, in our strength to be able to help our kababayan. It can also bring out the worst in us, no? So like when we argue, it can bring out the worst in us. Pag nag-teamwork kami, it can bring out the best in us. But ang dali pong sabihin yan when you're talking about yourself, magulang mo, mga kapatid mo, asawa mo. Pero when you're talking about 110 or 109 million Filipinos, ang nangyayari dyan, the best comes out. So yung pong mga nagdo-donate, yung pong mga frontliners, yung pong mga medical at health workers na kahit alam nilang ang may percentage talaga na mahahawa, kahit na nakikita nila all over the world, pati sa Pilipinas may namamatay na doktor, pumapasok pa rin, gumagawa pa rin ng paraan. Yung pong nabalitaan namin na nurse na buntis, sinabihan na ng mga kasamahan niya na maintindihan naman nila kung hindi siya pumapasok pa rin eh. Ang ating pong mga kapulisan, pwede naman pong dumistansya sa tao na mas malayong distansya, but sa kagustuhan na yung quarantine ay talagang ma-effect. Yung ating mga tanod, no? Si Lani po, nung kausap yung mga community leaders, nakiusap na yung 60 or 65 above na community leaders, wag nang promonta muna. Pero yung iba, sa kagustuhan talaga na sila mag-deliver at silang maglingkod, ginagawa nila to. So it brings out the best in us. Unfortunately, eto pong discrimination brings out the worst in us. Let's remember po, that panic, fear are as dangerous po as the virus itself, no? So kung yung takot po, yung worry, yung uncertainty, panic ang gagawin po natin, mas maraming mamamatay. Okay? So let me also distinguish between discrimination and following protocols. So ito pong mga health professionals natin, kaya nga po professionals they know the protocol of how to keep safe, no? So kung uuwi sila sa bahay nila or sa dorm nila, yung paghugas ng kamay and everything, alam nila yan. So pati po yung mga PUI at PUM at yung mga nag-test positive, may mga protocols na susundin lang yon. So kung sinusunod nila yung protocol, wala pong dahilan na tayo po ay mag-discriminate sa kanila. So for example po, they can put a chair outside their door, no? Or kung condo yon sa door, kung bahay yon sa bahay, nandun yung pambayad pagka nagpa-deliver, pwede naman ibaksak doon at makuha nila. It doesn't mean naman that you have to be face-to-face, no? Kasi I wanna distinguish between discrimination and violating protocol. So kung halimbawa test positive ka, lalabas ka, uubuhan mo yung mga kasama mo, yayakapin mo yung mga kasama mo, whether barkada yon, kapitbahay, ibang usapan yon, hindi discrimination yung sabihin mag-ayos ka. No? That's simply following the protocol. But katulad po ngayon, minsan yung iba kamag-anak pa So halimbawa apartments or yung magkakatabi ang bahay ng kamag-anak, nalaman sa barangay o nalaman kung saan man na yung isa ay positive o PUI, PUM, pinapaalis para daw hindi mahawaan yung iba. Tandaan po natin, paano kung nangyari sa atin yan? Paano kung tayo po yun? 'Di ba? So, like for example, nung unang nagsabi na nag-test positive si Congressman Eric Yap and later on napatunayan hindi, ang ginawa namin ni Lani, sinabi namin na kami lang magkikita, kami lang dalawa sa kwarto, tapos yung pagkain, iiwan lang, kami nakukuha. So we took precautions, no? But wala naman po nagsabing lumipat kami ng bahay or mag-ano muna kasi nga wala kaming symptoms naman. Ngayon, kung nagka-symptoms kami, lalo po kaming hindi dapat lumabas. Ngayon, kung kailangan pumuntang ospital, halos lahat po ng city at municipality ay meron na pong protocol din. In fact, pagka mukhang positive or lalo dun sa mga positive, may protocol na po yan at may mga special na ambulansya na magdadala. Kasi kung hindi, pati yung magmamaneho sa iyo o yung kamag-anak na magdadala, baka mahawa. Pero the mere fact po na sa community natin, no, whether they're in hotels, they're in condos, whether they're in their house, hindi ibig sabihin na mahawa. So kung halimbawa meron isa na suspected at 6, 8 kayo sa isang kwarto, ibang usapan yon. Hindi discrimination yung humanap ng paraan na i-isolate para hindi mahawa yung 5, di ba? Pero yung sa Homeowners Association, pasensyahan po tayo, no, I don't mean to offend. But halimbawa po, no, may tumawag Homeowners Association's condo. Kasi yung isang tested positive, hindi sumusunod sa protocol, umiikot-ikot. Tama po yun, hindi discrimination yun. They are complaining because mali yung ginagawa nung pasyente na yon. Pero kung halimbawa sabihin mo, nananahimik doon sa loob ng bahay niya, they're not breaking protocol, di ba? Pag umorder ng pagkain, i-deliver sa pinto, hindi naman pinapapasok sa bahay nila yung nagdi-deliver. It's discrimination po if we add to the rules nung protocol. Tandaan po natin, no, kung walang ginawa ang gobyerno, kung wala remember in time po at saka medyo mas mabilis nga ang paggalaw ng ating Pangulo sa community quarantine and enhanced community quarantine. But if we did nothing, 35 million Filipinos would have gotten infected and 600,000 to 700,000 would have died, di ba? Can you imagine if 35 million got infected? That's 1 out of 3. So tumingin ka sa kaliwa mo, sa kanan mo, either yung sa kaliwa, sa kanan o ikaw, magkakaroon ka nun. But because of the enhanced community quarantine and the other measures that government are trying, and because sumusunod kayo, remember, kahit anong gawin ng gobyerno, pag ang tao hindi po nag-cooperate o sumunod, hindi po magiging successful to. So we cannot really just say, it's because of the government. Hindi po. Even the president keeps saying na tayo lahat ito. But if we're going to discriminate po and add to the protocols na wala naman sa protocol, medyo po magulo po yan, 'di ba? At we will be hurting ourselves. I don't know kung sino nagsabi nito, but sabi sa akin ni Sec Gen Joel, it's an Indonesian story, no? Na when fighting a monster, be careful that you don't become one in the process. So it's a story about a person na siya ang nag-defeat sa monster, may nag-appear na naman na monster. And then meron na naman na matapang, nilabanan, napatay niya yung monster, siya naman ang naging monster. Kasi the monster pala was the temptation, no? They lost their humanity while fighting the monster. So we want to come out of this challenge. We want to defeat COVID-19 with our sense of humanity. Sa Christians, with our sense of Christianity, at sa ibang religion, di ba? I mean, Muslims want to be a good Muslim, Buddhist wants to be a good Buddhist, and wala pong religion na nagsasabi po na hindi natin mahalin ang ating kapwa. So just to recap kung may maling ginagawa, gawin ang tamang aksyon, isumbong sa kinaukulan if bina-violate yung protocol. Pero kung walang violation ng protocol, kaya nga yung sinabi ko sa inyo, sinabi ko po sa Kongreso na PSST, pray, stay home, save lives, tapos yung take-home package which we will talk about later, no? So yung pray, hindi ka naman pwede nagpre-pray, Lord, sana po hindi ako tamaan, Lord, sana pamilya ko. Then may kapitbahay ka o may pamilya ka na PUI o PUM, sasabihin mo, oy, dapat umalis ka muna dito, doon ka muna sa di ba? Paano kung sa'yo nangyayari yon? So nagpre-pray tayo na wag tayong tamaan, and then pagka may tinamaan sa publiko, lalo sa ating community, will be magdi-discriminate tayo, no? The authorities know what they're doing. Yes, medyo etong invisible na kalaban, medyo magaling, no? Marami pong weapons up its sleeve etong COVID-19, di ba? But the biggest weapon it has is really fear and panic, no? Pagka nauna yung takot sa atin at nauna yung panic, di ba? Kahit na ikaw pagka nalulunod, di ba, ang sinasabi, first of all, don't panic. Kasi pati yung sasagip sa'yo, pag nagpanic ka, malulunog din kapag bigla mong dinambahan o nasakal mo o sa kakapanik mo, napalo-palo mo, no? So, don't panic po, no? Dun sa mga masyadong concern. Tama po yung concern nyo. Pero if your concern goes into discrimination, malaking problema po yon, di ba? Okay. So, and remember pala ho, no? Madagdag ko lang. Tandaan po nyo na yung gobyerno, yung mga nasa gobyerno are not also exempted or wala po silang proven antibodies laban dito. So, kung lahat na lang po i-discriminate natin, nurses, doctors, radiologists, nursing aides, paano po yung mga police? So, like ako po, no? When I go around to help, I keep my distance. Pero hindi ko naman sinasabihan yung isang tao na, ikaw, buong araw ka umiikot, wag ka umupo dito. So pag naghain kami ng pagkain dito at may kausap po kami, we take the precautions. So 1 meter apart kami kumain, very sanitary, may mask po yung nagpre-prepare ng pagkain. And then afterwards, pag tayo namin, they try to clean the table, di ba? As yung tinuturo naman, at marami pong nasa YouTube ngayon at saka nasa mga .com kung paano maglinis, di ba? Pero yung magdi-discriminate ka, kawawa tayong lahat, no? It will do no good and it will affect us more, no? So, the next question is, Speaker, would you suggest sa IATF na yung pong tinataboy ng mga PUI-PUM sa komunidad ay i-transfer sa Philippine Arena na gagamitin ang mega quarantine facility for COVID-19 cases? Since pumayag naman po ang mga kapatid ng INC na gamitin po ang buong Ciudad de Victoria Estate for COVID-19. So first, salamat po sa liderato po ng kapatiran at salamat po sa lahat ng religious and business groups na pumapayag na gamitin ang kanilang facilities. Sorry, Lap, ano sabi? Okay, pinapaalala sa akin ng aking asawa, meron po tayong scientist and health experts. So sila magsasabi sa atin ngayon with the LGUs kung kailan time na gamitin na ang ibang quarantine areas. I'll give you an example po, no? yung mga OFW po na umuwi, lalo po dun sa high risk, hindi natin diniscriminate kasi sila heroes natin, pinayagan natin umuwi. Pero ginamit natin yung Athletes Village noon and all the safety net and protocols were there. Nung napuno, may mga hotels po na hindi dinidisclose po, pero yung staff nila po at saka yung management, tinuruan po ng protocols, no, kung how to take care of yung mga naka-quarantine. So that's an example. So right now po, what we're trying to do is we're trying to identify kung sino ang may COVID-19 para ma-treat and ma-isolate, no? Napaka-importante na malaman nyo both treatment and yung ma-isolate from the general public. Why treatment? Tao po yan nagkasakit po yan. Tandaan po natin 80% will not even need to be hospitalized, but 20% will be need na i-hospitalize. Then ang mortality or yung fatalities is between 1 to 5%, depende sa mga sitwasyon, no? Hopefully po tayo nasa lower 1 or below 1, and hopefully po tayo hindi talaga pumunta sa hundreds of thousands ang na-infect. Again, nasa kamay nyo po kung dadami o hindi ang ma-infect. But having said that, so almost all LGUs po, and I think the other day, ang presidential advisor natin on flagship program kasama ang isang napakagaling na urban planner and architect Dan Lichauco, present po nila yung iba't ibang mga evacuation iba't ibang centers na gagawin, either whether these are for quarantine or these are mini hospitals or they are converted into hospitals, no? So sila mag-i-inform sa atin pag time na nadalhin doon. But definitely, kapag kayong symptoms ay malala na at hindi nyo na kaya, halimbawa hindi na kayo makahinga, sa ospital na kaagad, no? And meron naman pong guidelines diyan. I didn't memorize the details, so I won't go there. Pero may protocol yan. Pero kung sasabihin po natin ngayon na lahat po na may symptoms, may sakit, i-move na natin sila dyan na wala sa protocol, that will also be part of discrimination. And pagka hindi pa ayos yung testing, baka meron po doon na positive, kung kahit nasabihin mong 2 meters away yung ibang mga kama, they're still all together. So it might be a danger to both the other patients and to the health workers. Until the time that our scientists and medical experts say na kailangan yon and anong conditions na nandun, no? So baliktarin ko ulit yung question. Paano kung ikaw, bigla kang inubo, bigla kang hindi may symptoms, sabihin sa iyo ihihiwalay ka sa pamilya mo, dadaling ka muna doon, 'di ba? Ano mararamdaman mo rin, 'di ba? Especially kung hindi pa naman kailangan. And then ano mararamdaman mo kung dapat a day or two mas magaling ka na, pero nandun ka, doon ka nahawa. So, there will be certain circumstances where dapat ilipat, no? And pabayaan mo muna yung ating experts. Kaya po ata isa si Architect Dan Lichauco sa kinuha because expertise niya ang ospital, and by the way, he helped us dun sa yung mga villas and everything dun sa Clark, and even dito po sa City of Taguig yung aming pong ospital, no? So on donation of salaries of cabinet members, tanong ni Eden Santos of Net25, may effort din ba ang Congress na mag-donate ng part ng kanilang sweldo ng mga congressman sa COVID-19? Yes po, almost 200 congressmen already will donate our whole sweldo ng May. Ang target po, initial target is 50 million. I think nasa mahigit na 40 million na po tayo ngayon. So pag umabot ng 50 million, mananawagan din kami sa mga personal naming kaibigan. If we can get 100 people to donate 500,000 or 50 people to donate 1 million, kasama yung aming sweldo, we hope na umabot ng 100 million. So dahil may hearing po kami sa Wednesday para sa Defeat COVID-19 Committee, doon na rin pag-uusapan kung after hearing from the DOH and DSWD kung saan sila up to speed. Ibig sabihin, ayaw kasi namin halimbawa bumili ng PPEs, yung pala may 5 billion or 2 billion worth of PPEs, or bumili ng pagkain, yung pala may provisions sa pagkain, no? So we want to use the money where it will be most effective, no? So May muna ang pinag-usapan namin, then hopefully po hindi na umabot tong crisis na to ng June, pero pag umabot pa, then we will make a second call. But let me assure you that in the last 2 months, kulang pa yung sweldo ng mga membro ng kongresista sa tinutulong sa mga distrito nila. Halos wala akong kilalang kongresista na hindi nag-donate ng PPE sa sarili nilang ospital or naglabas ng pambiling canned goods or bigas habang hinihintay yung LGU or yung or halos sabay ng LGU at DSWD, no? Bayanihan to Heal as One Implementation and Social Amelioration Package. Question by Ria Fernandez TV5, no? Have you seen any violation of specific LGU executives on penal provision of the law intended Congress? Okay. Reaction to Senator Soto's comment, EPAL local official, Senator Soto said, hindi ito panahon para magpasikat. Number 6 question, how can Congress bridge the issues between LGU and DSWD to make the process more efficient and responsive to the needs of the community? From Ed Sarto ng DZME. And 7, bakit kailangan ang social amelioration card kung may existing list na vetted before COVID ang gobyerno sa CCT? From RG Cruz of ABS-CBN. So related tong questions na to, but I'll go back to the first one, no, na have you seen any violation? As to the violation po, dalawa po yan, no? May penal clause if you violate po yung quarantine rules or enhanced community quarantine rules. We leave that up to the DILG, the PNP, the NBI na maghanap ng kanilang violation, no? Even sa LGUs, you know, we have to be very discerning kung sino nag-violate at hindi, because very toxic yung ating atmosphere, and we don't want to make mistakes. We also don't want to put too much stress on government agencies and LGUs kasi sila ang nasa frontline din at kailangan makadeliver sila. So ang tinitignan po namin sa violations, no, yung pong halimbawa, no, although primarily DTI pa rin to, no. For example po, pag biglang magtaas ang presyo ng gamot o kaya yung mga PPEs, no, o kaya po even sa fake news po, no, yung kunento ko sa inyo na may gumamit ng seal ng Congress, so pinalabas na House of Representatives yon. So yon, tinignan namin yon, pero ipapasa din namin sa authorities yon, no? So to answer your questions, Ria, we're not really focused on the violations now. We're focused on the guidelines and paano. So this is our proposal to DSWD now. We're waiting for their feedback. Ang proposal namin sa kanila na binigay, we've been working with them daily, even before the enhanced community quarantine, but we sent a very comprehensive letter Thursday. They haven't gotten back to us today until today, and doon pinopose namin ang very simple principle. Tandaan po natin, when we're dealing with laws, meron spirit of the law, may letter of the law. So it's very important that we understand the spirit of the law, or yung bakit, di ba? Natandaan nyo sa Bible nung may kinuhang grain ang ating Lord and God Jesus, tapos kinain, tapos Sunday yon, tapos sinabi sa kanya, why are you harvesting, why are you working on the Sabbath? On the Sabbath pala, no? Ang sagot niya, di ba? The Sabbath was made for man, not man made for the Sabbath, di ba? So napaka-importante na may principle tayo. So our principle po na pinopose sa DSWD is simple. To get the resources into the hands of the 18 million Filipinos at the fastest possible way with the least regulation or guidelines, no? So, sinundan lang po namin ang hiningi ng Executive Department. Sabi ng Executive Department, pwede ba, wag natin punuin ng specifics ang Bayanihan We Heal as One law para may flexibility ang gobyerno. So, we're asking DSWD to do the same. wag niyong punuin ng mga guidelines at regulation. I know you don't like using the word bureaucratic red tape, but there's no other way to call it except red tape. When you put requirements that are unnecessary, no? So, going to the next question, dun sa series of questions, no? Sorry po, hindi ko masyadong alam yung konteksto nung kay Senate President, but I think everyone means well, no? Senate President worked hard on this law. Regular po kami nag-uusap. I think in general, yung sinabi, it's not time na nagpasikat. It goes to all of us, no? When we look in the mirror in the morning, pag nagsisipilyo, we really have to tell each and everyone, we have to tell ourselves, no? It's not time for politics, it's not time magpasikat. That's why tignan mo po ang ating Pangulo. Although binanatan niya po yung ibang oposisyonista na may ibang hangarin or nakakagulo, yung sarili niya rin supporter na mali ang ginawa at pinaimbestigahan ng Vice President ay sinisante o tinanggal. No, so I think the President is showing a good example by, pag sinabi niyang walang magpasikat, it goes to everyone, no? So, let me go to the next item. How can you bridge the issues between LGU and DSWD? Well, before Thursday, araw-araw yung feedback and medyo malayo na ang dumating yung kinahantungan ng aming discussions. But pagdating daw sa Execom, iba daw ang paningin ng Execom. So I haven't talked to the Secretary. I've texted him since Thursday. Wala pang reply. But yung isang USEC lang ang nagre-reply sa amin. So we will have a follow-up letter today. And our letter will contain 3 things, no? Follow-up dun sa Thursday letter. And siguro I'll give you a recap, no, nung Thursday letter. So follow up sa Thursday letter, then kasunod po noon ay isang statement na nagsasabi na under the present guidelines, 2 lang ang pwedeng gawin ng LGU. Ibigay kaagad ang pera and violate the guidelines, or sundin ang guidelines pero matagal bago dumating ang pera. And we think this is unfair sa LGUs. Now we will throw all the burden to them. Secondly, siguro ito unahin kong pakita sa inyo. Let's see kung na-forward na sa akin yung percentages, no. Meron kasing problema sa ito, okay. So I'll show you yung nasa guidelines. Okay. Ayan po yung nasa guidelines ngayon, no? Ayan po nasa guidelines. Okay, so let's say NCR, 3.2 million households, ang bibigyan 1.788. So let's say sa Bangsamoro, BARMM, 665,597 households, 623 ang bibigyan. So, nakikita natin na nakikita po natin dito. Okay, nakikita po natin dito in most regions walang problema. Pero nakikita natin na most cases is in Metro Manila, and alam naman po natin na sentro din ng ekonomiya natin ng Metro Manila. Makikita mo, for example, no, ang Caraga, 78.76% mabibigyan. Sa BARMM, 93.69% mabibigyan. Sa Region 8, 83.07% mabibigyan. Pero sa Metro Manila, it's only 54.86%, no? Remember, we're going to give 18 out of 24.6 million Filipino families, no? Households or families. So, dapat more or less 3 out of 4. So, medyo hirap na hirap po mga mayors ngayon para i-discern kung 54% lang. Kasi most cities and even Pateros, the lone municipality in Metro Manila, ang tingin namin more than 60% talaga ang mahirap at kailangan makatanggap, no? So, yun po ang isang way na we will bridge. We'll be writing the SWD, but we'll probably be appealing then to the President to look again at the computation. Don't get me wrong po, no? The Department of Finance and DSWD had to have an initial computation at yan po ang official government statistics. But for example, no, sa Taguig, sa city, sorry dito ako familiar pero sa amin, ang nakalagay po, less than 200,000 po yung pamilya. Pero sa amin house-to-house census, it's more than 270,000. So yun po ang isang major po na problema. So the way we're doing it po is, kinausap na namin lahat ng kongresista at ni isa po walang nagsabing na dapat makialam ang kongresista sa pagdidistribute, no? So there's no politics here. Yung LGU talaga magdidistribute at sa lahat ng version ng guidelines, we agree with DSWD that it's DSWD at LGU. Having said that, meron regular programs ang DSWD na mukhang nagkakaproblema. Ako lang 3 times ko na nakausap yung NCR director, tinuturo minsan yung National Resource and Operation Center, NROC, no? And they keep promising na may food packs, but it's already been 3 weeks and wala pang 15% sa prenamis, tapos may bukbuk pa yung bigas. So we've been giving them counter suggestions. Kung kulang kayo sa taga-repack, i-deliver nyo na lang sa LGU, yung LGU na lang magre-repack. Kung kulang kayo ng truck, pahiramin kayo ng truck. So we want to sort this out, and siguro the fourth way that we can help is through the hearing, no? So the first way we can help is with the guidelines that we're doing it every day. Second way that we already help pala is by the bayanihan, by legislation, by giving them the money. The third one is yung close coordination ng mga congressman sa regional director. And the fourth one is really the hearing. Of course, the media will play a big part because when you look at the suggestions, mas magandang kayo magsabi kung sinong tama at mali. I'll give you one example now, no? Ang latest balita ko, sana mali ang balita sa akin, is ang desisyon ng DSWD, hindi i-release sa mga mayors yung listahan ng 4Ps, no? Na 4.4 million. So, katulad sa Taguig, sabi nila 200,000 lang households namin, but it's 270. They will give us daw for 102,000, but 10,000 daw are 4Ps, so 92 na lang. So kung hindi ibibigay ang listahan ng 4Ps, bibigyan pa rin ng form lahat. So pati yung taga 4Ps, buti kung lahat ng nakakatanggap ng 4Ps, alam yung regulations, alam yung guidelines, hawak yung papel at sasabihin, sir, wag mo na ako bigyan dahil 4Ps na ako. 'Di ba? So gumugulo lalo 'di ba? Sa UCT halimbawa, yung unconditional cash transfer, we should give the mayors the names already right away para mauna na yon, kasi walang cash card yon, pero nasa guidelines sila, kasama dyan yung solo parents, I think some seniors, etc., para maibigay na. Let me also emphasize, as of today, I saw 7 memorandum circulars from the DSWD, and none of them really totally amends in totality, no? Or hindi niya nire-replace yung former guidelines. So ikaw man mayor, 7 guidelines, 7 memorandum circular ang babasahin mo, hindi ba gugulo ito, no? So we want na not only to lessen, but magkaroon ng isa lang na mother guidelines para mas madali for everyone, no? Kami nga mga kongresista, medyo mas marami kaming oras kaso sa local government. Sa pag-aaral lang ng mga guidelines at pagbabasa, nahihirapan na nakakatawag pa kami sa DSWD. Ano pa kaya yung iba, no? So, by the way, I talked to Senator Bongo also, and dun sa panawagan niya, exactly ang panawagan niya, pabilis yan at to simplify, no? So, let me show you again. Ito po yung present process, no? 2 pages yan. So from the forms, so yan yung first page going to the second page, no? Yan kung susundin natin yung ano ngayon, yung guidelines, ito pong dalawang to ang magiging proseso. So maintindihan niyo yung sinasabi kong yung sa Monday, yung makakapagbigay, hindi susundin to. Ngayon kung susundin mo naman, tatagal ka naman ng gusto. So ito yung aming counter proposal. Meron po tong matrix at meron po tong language na kasama, hindi lang infographics. Ito po, nung una pumayag sila, pero hindi namin nakikita na sa guidelines, no? So, sa traditional way, binibigyan ng ticket, pinapapila, may distribution in number of, Dito naman po sa ating pong pinopropose ay house to house, may team of 5. Yung 5 po ng team na yan, ayan, LGU representative, barangay representative, representative from the office of the congressperson, Urban Poor Neighborhood Association, NGO, homeowners, at PNP, no? Tapos bibigyan po sila ng cellphone para wala nang pirmahan, para po hindi na po magpipirmahan dun sa liquidation. Ang gagawin na po sa liquidation ay picture na lang house to house, no? So far po I haven't seen that in the so katulad po ng DOLE, no? Ang DOLE naman baliktad, napakabilis. Kaya lang halimbawa, no, yung sa pagbigay sa tricycle or sa ibang mga gusto nila through Palawan Express. There are certain areas in the country na okay 'yon. But katulad po dito sa amin, mas gusto po sana namin ibabahay-bahay namin, no? Or katulad sa ginagawa namin sa tricycle, per association, pumupunta po dito sa aming university, Taguig City University, naka-social distancing. Because what we don't want to happen is people will go to other barangays at pipila ng mahaba. So there are things that we have to work out, and this in no way should overshadow the hard work that our departments are actually doing, no? Going back to the forms, no? Yung tinatawag na SAC or Social Amelioration Cards, ito po yung form na sinasabi nila eh. Ito po, oh. So kung makikita nyo po, mahaba pong proseso to. Bakit po? Kasi aside from the name at tirahan, kalye, miyembro ng pamilya, ito madali to. Pero yung birthdays, tapos yung kung ano trabaho, kung anong kondisyon, nandyan sa ilalim kung anong mga sakit, tapos yung may barcode. Kung ito po ang masusunod, hahaba po ng masyado ang proseso, di ba? So, ang mangyayari niyan, gagawa ng paraan ng LGU, baka sila na mag-fill up or sabihin sa barangay, tulungan nyo na mag-fill up, and that will cause a lot of problems later on. So, we don't want, it's very unfair sa mga mayors natin, governors, to put them in a situation na number one, kulang yung ibibigay, so sila mamimili sinong bibigyan, sinong hindi. Then number two, napakahaba ng guidelines na if they follow the guidelines, madidelay ang pagbigay. If they don't follow the guidelines naman, hindi mabibigyan. If they don't follow the guidelines, mabibigay naman kaagad, pero they ended up not following the guidelines, no? So tayo po, patuloy na nakikiusap, natignan nila yung sulat namin, very clear naman yung nandun. I don't want to release it muna sa media, but we're sharing it with members of Congress kasi sila naman po ang nagbigay ng mga input doon. No? We don't want to share it at this time habang hindi sila nagre-respond. But every day na hindi sila nagre-respond, sayang po yung oras. Again, teamwork po eh. We have to do it together. Why is Congress doing it now? Because traditionally, pag walang emergency, we'll just allow the agency to... first of all, magiging mahigpit kami sa batas. Ilalagay na namin sa batas kung anong tingin namin na safeguard. But in this case, sila nakiusap na pabayaan na silang gumawa ng guidelines. Secondly, traditionally, we'll let them implement. Kung may problema, maghihiring kami after. Ang problema po dito, kung hihintay namin mag-implement and it takes them 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, saka kami maghihiring, patay na ang kabayo hinihiring pa natin yung damo, di ba? That's why we decided to work with them earlier, no? Okay, so let's go to the next question. Let me just check. Okay. By the way, ang DBM mabilis din at ang alam ko nag-download na. May nag-post nga nung cheque, hindi ko lang sure yung 1 billion pesos kasi 1 billion per month po 'yon. yung 5 to 8,000 for 18 million families. So what question number was I in? RG Cruz, bakit kailangan ng social amelioration card kung may existing na vetted na COVID ang gobyerno? You're totally correct, RG, and precisely we brought this up with them. And ang suggestion namin from the start, unahin na yung i-deposit, no? In the latest guidelines, to be fair sa DSWD, nakinig sila in guidelines in Memorandum Circular number 7, hindi na kailangan. Pero ang problema ngayon, hindi kailangan, pero hindi naman binibigay yung pangalan sa LGUs. So, hindi alam ng LGU pag-distribute ng card. Kasi, alam mo, nakita mo yung bahay, nakita mo yung pamilya, napakahirap. Kung hindi mo alam na 4-piece yun, bibigyan mo ng form. Pag binigyan mo ng form, i-expect nun na separate yung 5 to 8,000 yon. Yung pala, may cash card sila at binigay na. So, may data privacy law naman tayo eh. Yung isang reason na binibigay, baka daw kasi hindi i-respect yung privacy. Mali po yun dahil may CSWD, MSWD at PSWD na dapat involved sa 4-piece. In the past administrations, may mga nahuli ang Congress na mga ghost sa 4-piece. Ako, mas gusto kong ibigay sa LGUs yung listahan para habang chine-check nila at iniikot nila house to house with the other list, makita nila kung tao talaga or kung multo. Makikita po natin kung peke. Kasi, can you imagine of the 4.4 million receiving about 2,000 a month, 1,000 lang nun na ghost, 2 million yon. 10,000 na ghost, that's 20 million. Sinabi naman na linis over time, over the last, so pangatlong administration na to na may 4-piece umiba lang yung pangalan or yung conditional cash transfer. So supposedly nalinis yung numero na yan. But by being transparent and sharing it, di ba, I think makikita natin kung may problema sa programa. If there are places na napolitika, na mas maraming nabigyan, kaso sa ibang places na marami din mahihirap, or kung meron ghost. I doubt na meron, I don't think na meron, but I think it will be very good to be transparent about it. So tama ka, RG, there's no need. And that's why we want a comprehensive memorandum circular. Para yan na lang ipopost namin sa Facebook, kanya-kanya po tayong pagbabasa at pagfa-follow, pero less interpretation is better. Question number 8 from a netizen, often question where is the 275 billion, insinuating it is pocketed because they don't feel it. From RG Cruz ulit, would you like to address where is the 275 billion specifically and how soon before intended beneficiary will get it? So sa 275 billion, ito po, 100 billion more or less off budget, kukunin yan po sa mga GOCCs. That's for 1 month of yung ibibigay po na social amelioration or yung 5 to 8,000. The other 175 billion na on budget, yan po ay tinitignan na ng DBM kung saan kukunin. Yan po ay 100 billion is for the social amelioration, yung 5 to 8,000 for the next month. 75 billion is for the hospital equipment, for the PPEs, for the allowances ng health workers, at ano pa mga kailangan natin, no? So, hindi po mananakaw po yan kasi hindi naman po cash, hindi naman hawak ng isang tao yan. And you have the Senate and House joint oversight para mag-hearing at the right time. Yung mag-hearing sa Wednesday ay hindi pa yung joint oversight with the Senate, kung hindi yung create namin sa Congress na DCC, Defeat COVID-19 Committee, headed by our Majority Leader, mag-co-chair kaming dalawa ng Majority Leader Martin Romualdez. No? Question number 12, other countries have resorted to quarantine people in hotels charged to government para hindi kahit papano may kita ang hotels. We're doing that, RG. No, hindi lang ina-announce which hotels at paano, but yung mga OFWs na pauwi. And that's precisely why, kung titignan mo yung Bayanihan We Heal As One, sinama namin doon na talaga ang gobyerno can spend money for motels, hostels, hotels, or mga similarly situated, mga gyms na malalaki. No? And to be fair sa mga owners, For example, no, sa mga kaibigan natin, salamat sa mga kabangon Chua, they have quietly allowed some of their hotels to be used, not only one, but a couple of them, to be used by health workers kapag yung hotel nila ay malapit sa mga ospital. They did that quietly, even if they have a news outlet, and they're just simply helping people, no? Next question, RG Cruz then, about PRD statement, no, on Lenny, Shell Jokno, Commissioner Luna. How should the public take PRD statements last night regarding Mayor Vico, VP Lenny, Luna, Shell Jokno? How real are the efforts of the anti-administration forces to exploit the situation against government as opposed to legitimate opinions on performance of government? On Lenny Robredo, tama yan. May tao ako na si Manuelito Luna. Gusto niya paimbestigan si Lenny. I ordered to fire Luna. Right now, I criticize period. I criticized Lenny in the past, but ngayon walang kasalanan ng Vice President. Duterte said it was not right for Luna to call a probe on Robredo. Shell Jokno, iniimbierna mo lang ang tao para sa galit. Shell Jokno, mang-intriga ka sa tao. Wag sa panahon na ito. Intellectually stupidity yan. Question ni RG Cruz, have all sides been factual about their claims against each other? In one side or all sides guilty of lying to the public and others to sway people one to the other. So, unang-una, RG, at sa lahat ng kaibigan natin medyang nanonood, no, I think everyone parehong pananawagan, wag mamulitika. It is not time for politics. Or better word is partisanship, no? There's politics in everyone, in everything. But partisanship ang sinasabi dito. Meaning, kung tama sabihin ni Presidente, suportahan natin. Whether opposition tayo, administrasyon, DDS. Pag mali, then we also have a remedy. Ganun din sa opposition, di ba? Na just because they're in the opposition, let's not criticize whatever they say. Kung tama yung sinabi, de tama, and we should join them. Kung mali, de mali. But it is true and it is real, RG, na may mga forces out there. For example, no, tignan nyo na lang ang Facebook yung Facebook po ng communist founder sa Pilipinas, si Joma Sison, no? Unang-una, why does he have a Facebook page when the CPP-NPA has been named by the US as an international terrorist organization? So having said that, go back a few days. In the last few days, ang nakalagay po sa Facebook niya, yung mga accomplishments ng NPA, bakit importante yung revolution. So during this time na health at survival na ng buong mundo, pinag-uusapan nila revolution, di ba? Yung kadamay, do you think na yung ginawa nila na pagra-riot o mini-riot dun sa isang barangay hall, do you think walang politika yon or they didn't want to make a scene? Diba? Nakita nyo naman po yung sa Bronx Hospital Nag-rally po ang mga nag-demonstration po ang mga nurses doon. Naka-social distancing po sila tapos may hawak lang po silang placard na support and then we need PPEs, etc. So there's a way to express our grievances. Hindi po tinatanggal ng ating Pangulong freedom of expression, but to violate quarantine, to have a public gathering, to initiate a riot, no? So those are the extreme cases. So if you're going to ask me to judge yung statement ng Pangulo, ng Vice President, nung statements nung bawat isa, I don't think I can do that at this time kasi I don't think we have to have a freedom of expression ombudsman at this time, nor should we question the motives of others unless nakakasakit na. So syempre, pag nagbigay ka ng opinion, let's say sabihin, eto karapatan mo, eto ganyan, sige, violate, sige, go. Sige, umikot kayo, 'di ba? All over the world po trial and error po ang ginagawa sa of course, the people who listen more to scientists and to the medical professionals have less errors. Mas better yung success ng trial nila, no? But there's no playbook, there's no blueprint to deal with COVID-19. So, magpo 4 o'clock na po, magwa 1 hour na tayo, so let me try to finish. Nasaan tayo? Yes, last 2 questions naman po to. Okay, ang tanong po, aside from those mentioned in your previous Facebook Live, who are you eyeing as possible advisors to the government and Congress when it comes to COVID-19? Then from RG Cruz ulit, since SARS was also a coronavirus, are there lessons that the government can learn from SARS experience in 2003? No doubt. No doubt. And yung ibang taga-DOH na nandiyan pa, whether MERS o SARS, meron silang experience when we inaugurated yung isang bridge sa Congress. Former President Arroyo was talking about yung experience niya doon. Si Congresswoman Janet Garin, who used to be sa DOH, she was telling us also about her experiences when there were cases na baka magkaroon ng outbreak, no. So I mentioned very obvious kasi yung former DOH secretaries. Walang duda po na yung mga former USEC and ASEC na tumutulong ngayon, very valuable yan. But syempre yung experience nung secretary na nasa cabinet sila. So former Secretaries Cabral, former Secretary Galvestan, former Secretary, now Congresswoman Garin, former Secretary Ubial, health experts like Susie Mercado, very respected yan kahit sa WHO. And then those who really know their stuff sa public health but also communicate very well with the public. Doc Willie Ong is one example and Dr. Edsel Salvana is another example. So sinabi ko kay Secretary Charlie Galvez na, sir, baka gusto mong kunin yan as advisory, not to overturn the DOH or makipagpaligsahan sa DOH, but iba yung may pool of experts kaya. Look at it another way, RG, no? If I were putting up a network now to compete with Channel 5, CNN, IBC, Channel 4, ABS, and GMA, wouldn't I be getting the former heads ng ABS and ng GMA7 or kung meron po taga NBC sa Amerika or ABC willing to go here, di ba? So that's why we call them experts because they have expertise, no? May mga alam sila way beyond what the normal public official knows, no? So kung gagamitin sila ng IATF, then we will just share in the knowledge. But kung hindi sila gagamitin at kung nakikinig sila, ma'am, sirs, Congress needs you, baka you can advise our DCC committee, yung Defeat COVID-19 committee, or the oversight, or both, no? But we have 4 clusters sa DCC: health cluster, social amelioration, economic stimulus and response package, and peace and order cluster. So for example, dun po sa economic stimulus cluster, we have our own experts. We have Joey Salceda, who's very good, genius yan sa finance. Siya po ang nanguna sa mga packages natin sa taxes. Kasama niya dyan yung head natin ng economic yung economic reform, yung committee natin. Walang iba po kundi si Sharon Garin. You have people like Juni Kua, who's heading our banks committee, who's had a long history in government. And you have Deputy Speaker El Rey, who's been very active sa finance. And of course, our new chairman ng finance na si Eric Yap, no? You have the peace and order cluster. So it's the same sa peace and order cluster. By the way, RG, I want to mention at this point in time, no, and offer also to the palace that one formal mechanism that is there in place is yung National Security Council. So when I was the minority leader, there was one National Security Council meeting na pinatawag kaming lahat. So ang maganda sa National Security Council, naimbita ang lahat ng former presidents, and then kasama din dito ang opposition at administrasyon, no? Because nag-expand na yung definition ng national security, and definitely etong pagsubok natin sa COVID-19 goes into national security, no? Whether you talk about food security or yung security natin as to health, and even if you talked about local production and how much of our needs are being produced locally. So the president knows best, no? And he will use whatever mechanism is available. Let me just mention that's one possible. But of course, at this time, probably kung ipapatawag yan, hindi live lahat sa Malacanang. but we'll have to use some secure communications na mag-teleconferencing din, no? So again, gusto ko lang pong batiin ang mga kababayan natin, taga Abra, meron pong taga Bacolod, meron pong taga Zamboanga City, sa Basulta area, Pangasinan, mga kababayan natin sa Davao, at siyempre sa Mindanao, kaninyong tanan. Medyo humihina na yung internet for a while. So, bago humihina sa media, kung meron akong hindi nasagot, announcement lang. Yan. Thursday na sa Thursday. So we will come out with the note. And then the hearing will be on Wednesday. Take home package.